King, he looks shit again.
I'm blowing this money, you see me, I'm working. You niggas is bluffing, I be out here stunting. Your bitch know she fucking, I keep it real simple. Hundreds, on hundreds, on hundreds. You niggas keep talking, I'm keeping it coming. You see I'm rocking, you niggas don't want it. I apply for a bag, keep on running, make it shit last. The drip keep on bumming, little shorty, she bad. I might pull up on her, she popping the tag, she know I'm a stunner.
What it is, what it do, man? Y'all know the vibes, man. Oh my goodness, new show on the map. New show on the map, first episode for the first season. We have my main guy, the host, Ray, your co-host, Trippy OG, and this is the first episode of What's Next? Knicks predictions. Oh my goodness. Give us the rundown, bro. Give us the rundown.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome to What's Next. I appreciate that intro, Trippy. We're just going to talk about three major. Yeah. Man, I wish I had something next to me right now. But we're going to talk about three things. We're going to talk about the Wizards game. That's our last preseason game. We're going to talk about our first game in the season against the Grizzlies. I have a couple points on that. And then also, we're going to go out on a limb and talk about some season predictions. All right? So, you know, there's lots of room to be wrong there. It's 82 games plus, right? So let's just get right into it, man. The Wizards game, we came away with that W, didn't we, right?
Did we? They had no chance, man. Like, they were coming back here and there, but bro. And on top of that, they didn't have a KP, but we were still killing. They still had Bradley Beal on the floor. We were looking good out there, bro. We were looking good. I loved it.
Yeah. It felt like a wire-to-wire win to me. You know, we were, I believe, the more energetic team. You know, I feel like they made a good push. They have some nice young talent as well, too. I think I'll get into it a little bit later. We'll get into it a little bit later. But the first thing that I noticed was that our starters were a lot more productive than their starters. And obviously that's why we won, right? Because the bench didn't necessarily produce a ton of points. You know, we had different players who helped in specific areas. We had Emmanuel Quickly, who came through with 9 boards or something like that. So
yeah,
that undoubtedly helped the team and propelled the team as well to those kinds of contributions. But it just seemed like our starters thoroughly outplayed them. I'm curious to know how things would have, turned out if KP was playing, though. What do you think?
I personally think we would have actually got to see a different style of how Mitch probably would have played. As we all know, Mitchell Robinson, yes, he is a tremendous player. He gets better and better every year. But he should automatically always dog anybody that is shorter than him, which we always see. But it's like when he has that top tier level defender or guy with him. Now, I'm not saying KP is any shape or form in that caliber, but them being the same height, I feel like it probably would have been a little bit different, but Mitch probably still would have gave him the business. That's all I'm saying. Like, we would have seen a little bit different from Mitch.
Okay. Now, I totally agree. And as we move on to the next point, I just want to note that, again, the starters outscored their starters 80 to about 46 or so. So we almost doubled them up. You know what I'm saying? So if we touching them up, it wasn't nothing nice. One of the things that I've been noticing, man, and I was so happy to see it in this game was Julius continues to play in the flow, right? And probably the biggest piece to me is that he's intentionally getting RJ involved. Now, it's been 3 years of Julius practically ignoring him, right?
I've noticed that, bro. Like, at first, I thought he was just giving us the talk that we wanted. He's doing his due diligence. He's understanding, learning. Like, you need to talk to media, be a grown man about it, be a leader. But now it's like, okay, I'm actually seeing it on the court now. I'm like, all right, Julius, I might have to lay off you a little bit. I'm starting to feel you now, bro. This might work. So the Jalen Brunson effect is definitely rubbing off. Well, let me correct that. The Jalen Brunson / D Rose effect is working.
Yeah, some good leadership. Good leadership, and it just seems like Julius is rejuvenated and a lot more open to feedback. I think the time did him some good, and obviously I'm fond of Obi, but I'm going to cheer for any player that plays well for us that's in the Knicks jersey, period. One particular play that really stood out to me that basically encapsulated what I'm talking about is Julius had the ball. He was taking it down the court, Jalen called for the ball. He was right next to him, and he waved Jalen off. Now, typically any sort of sequence that starts like that, you're going to start holding your breath, right? Because we've seen Point Julius. But what he did next really, really got me to buy into him a little bit more. He dribbled to the right side pretty quickly, pretty convincingly, and he did a dribble handoff with RJ. Set the screen and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So he waved somebody else off to get RJ. That's a level of respect. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's trust as well too. So there were little things that were happening throughout this preseason that gave me a lot of hope that this team has a ton of team spirit and actually enjoys playing with one another and trusts one another. So with that said, man, I don't want to hate on the Wizards. So I'm gonna give them some love. Some things that I saw. They're deep. They're pretty deep. I think they're about like 8-ish or so deep. They have a lot of good floor spacing around Bradley Beal. KP's coming back. That's going to help stretch the floor. I mean, everybody that plays, with the exception of maybe Daniel Gafford, they have the ability to step out and stretch the floor. And Gafford ain't no scrub. He does what he does, right?
That's a fact, man. He be hustling. He be hustling.
Facts. I mean, Mitch bust his ass last game, but at the same time, he's I'm not going to hate on the player. He's a good player, man, and he's a solid contributor. The player that I really want to draw attention to from their roster is Rui Hachimura, right? Is something to that effect. Bro. Yeah, the brother from Japan. How you feel about him?
That break he took, that mental health break he took, was well needed, because he looks like he's ready to go. Like, his defense was on point. The way he read the floor, his IQ to the game, he's looking like a very decent player. I think he's probably one of the missing pieces Bradley Beal needed. Like, he needed him to wake up. And then we can't forget about Kuzma. I noticed that Kuzma didn't play in that game, which is another threat that we probably – wait, did Kuzma play?
He played, but he just, he wasn't exceptionally productive. So it seemed like he ain't played.
Okay. Because it was a couple of times I'm looking at him like, I can't remember if he was on the floor. But Rue, he's looking like a keeper. He's looking like the one. Yeah,
he's looking really good, man. And he's missed some time. I think he's missed some games every season, I believe. He's kind of hovered around 50 games or so, something like that. So as long as he can stay on the floor, man, and keep his support system all together. Last season, I noticed that his numbers kind of tailed off a little bit. They've kind of been the same, but his numbers tailed off, but his efficiency went up. He shot over 40% on the three. So, that's a nice young player. I'd love to see how him and KP work at the 4 and 5 and what they do to open up the floor for Bradley Beal. So let's move on to the season opener, man. The Grizzlies, man. How you feeling about playing the Grizzlies in game 1?
I'm so ready for it. As a Knicks fan itself, shout outs to the Memphis Grizzlies with them $7 seats. I hope, us Knicks fans, we take the trip to go to Memphis and go grab them up, even if it's in the nosebleeds. Like, we got to turn up to keep letting the world know Knicks is everywhere. We all round. We global, baby. We global. But honestly, I'm looking forward to it. You got to love the Ja RJ matchup. Mm-hmm. You gotta now love the fact that you get two different types of PG play, and this time we actually have two bona fide PGs. You get the electrifying speed burstness of Ja versus the swifty, on his toes, control the pace of the game with Brunson. So that's another thing you gotta look out for. And then I'm looking out for a couple of sleepers. Like, I want to see what Dylan Brooks and Desmond Bane are going to do. And I want to see what Quentin Grimes and maybe even IQ, what they're going to pull out. Is Quentin Grimes going to be the stopper that we think he's going to be? Is IQ going to shoot the lights out, trying to go shot for shot with Desmond Bane? You know what I'm saying? Especially what we've seen in preseason from IQ. Is he going to actually pass the ball? Is he going to shoot us into a loss, when he gets locked in? So I don't know. It's going to be a crazy game, but I'm looking forward to it. And then, of course, last but not least, I'm just ready to see D Rose command the second unit again. Like, it's been a while since we've seen that. Like, when D Rose is on the floor with the second unit, we now become the most deadliest bench in the league. Like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, man. Rose really came through and like gave us that jolt that we needed a couple seasons ago, man. He looks phenomenal, man. And hopefully he stays healthy throughout the season, you know, and he can still play at his age, you know. So I'm excited to see that. I'm excited. I'm happy that we're actually playing Memphis this early. I think they provide a very formidable just opponent. It's really going to test us. I mean, they're young, they're fast, they're tough, they're in your face. And they just keep getting better as an organization and team. So we got to come to play. You know, we got to come. We're not playing against, you know, I'm not going to name any teams because I don't want to disrespect, you know, anyone's players like that. But there's some teams that I feel like we're better than. And we may waltz in there and be lackadaisical as every team can do every so often, right? But I'm glad that it's a reputable team that can embarrass us if we're not careful, you know. So I'm excited about this. I think it's we're going to have to take our lunch pails here. We're going to have to put our hard hats on. We're going to have to play. We're going to have to match their intensity. So I'm excited about that. Win, lose, or draw, I feel like we're going to benefit from this game. You know, if we win, we have a mental edge. We know that we can compete with the best. If we don't win, we have the sour taste of defeat in our mouths, and we know that we got to keep grinding. So that's the way how I feel about that. The second thing I really want to draw some attention to is the Grizzlies keep finding ways to add talent. Have you seen Kenny Lofton?
Bro, that boy is like, yo, I swear he's going to be Draymond 2.0, bro.
I got one better. I feel like he's going to be Zebo 2.0.
Ooh, that's way better than mine. I got it. He that one hit it on the nail. Hit it, coffin. Put him in a coffin. That was fire. That one got it. That's the facts, bro. He's different, bro. And I've been watching him for a while. So when he went to when the Grizzlies drafted him, I said, how do they keep doing this? Yo, whoever's on their board, A1 to them, shout outs to y'all, but we still gonna come away with the W.
Yeah, I mean, that's team spirit right there, man.
That's a fact.
They just year after year, man. They had Jaren Jackson. You know, they selected him high in the draft a few years ago. I'm not quite sure what year it was, but you know, he's not KG, but he does some things really, really well, man, including protecting the rim. I think he's special in a few different ways, and if he pulls it all together, he could be a terror for years and years to go.
He's gonna be playing this game. I believe he's still out, right, with the injury, if I'm not mistaken, that he had. I know he's recovering at the moment. I don't know if he's gonna be playing, but if he does, it's definitely gonna be a test to us. If he doesn't, it's wide open. Mitch, you should eat, and especially with Steve Adams, he started to experience neck soreness in one of the preseason games. So he might be out. So this might be another show out for Mitchell Robinson and all our bigs, because with both of them out, I don't see nobody stopping Obi, Randall, or Mitch.
That's interesting that you even feel that way, man. That's a lot of optimism about our chances. So, you know, I hope you're right. You know, I hope you're not in regards to whether or not the players play. I think I heard the same thing about Jaren Jackson. Steven Adams is a tough guy, man. You're going to have to chop his leg off for him to not show up there and play. So he's one of the pound per pound. I feel like he's the strongest player in the league, you know, but everybody faces injuries, right? So hopefully he's all right. He makes it back to the court soon.
That's a fact.
But yeah, man, Kenny Lofton, man, he could score from 3 levels. You know, he hasn't met a single person down low that has stood him up yet. When he decides to go towards the rim, that's exactly what happens. And you're coming with him if you want to stay with him, you know? So, excellent player. I love him as a young prospect. You know, they got Dylan Brooks. They acquired him. Sneaky good. You know, they selected Desmond Bane at the end of the first round a few years ago. Obviously, they got Ja at the top. You know, they just keep adding quality players, man. And they're an issue. They're an issue. Which takes me to the next point. Ja Morant. now we get to see what Jalen Brunson is made of.
That's
right?
a fact. Ooh, big fact.
Because he's going against one of the premier point guards in the league, and it happens to be somebody who has that next level twitch when it comes to that first step, getting down the court, the ball in his hand, and also crazy athleticism. He can get to the rim. He could jump up on the wrong foot. He can do anything that he wants to do. He's a video game. So I'm excited to see how Brunson attempts to keep him in check, right? I already know that he's a bucket and Ja's not going to stop him on the other end of the floor. I just don't see that happening. But defensively, what are we going to do? I've already started to think that what if we end up starting Quentin Grimes? Then I can see Quentin Grimes sliding over and defending Ja, or at least trying to, right? Putting forth a valiant effort. But if we have Evan Fournier starting, then listen, Jalen's in for a rough night. He's in, or at least a long one, you know what I'm saying? And like, I have a lot of trust in him. I feel like he's going to keep us competitive. But Ja's a killer, man. Ja's a killer. So that's going to be an interesting matchup, you know.
It's crazy to piggyback off that. In my mind, I see it that it's still going to end up being, I don't know, I feel like RJ is going to end up guarding Ja. And then we're going to see a matchup of Jalen probably guarding like Desmond Bane or Dylan, one of them that come in. I have a feeling it's going to switch up because you know how RJ is, man. I hear them saying, you know, the whole thing about Quentin Grimes to guard the best guy on the court. I'm like, okay, so he's basically supposed to take the role of RJ, which would make more sense because if you're supposed to be the guy to be the defender that lets RJ not tire himself out that as much while having to guard this guy. Now I got to play offense. You know what I'm saying? So you know, I get the direction of what they mean in that whole, you know, subliminal message. But I don't know. If Quentin Grimes doesn't start, I feel like RJ will guard Ja, and then you'll see Brunson guarding someone else. But I'm still looking forward to the game period. It's gonna be something crazy. I'm kind of mad. I'm gonna be at work while it's going on. So I'm like, I gotta miss the first game, but at least I'll be in the building for the second one.
Hey yo, congrats on that, man. I'm a little jealous. You know, I'm gonna hit you afterwards so you can tell me how that experience was, man. And I'll definitely be watching it on my end, man. Yeah, man. Okay, when it comes to RJ, who's always going to be a focal point for me when discussing these predictions because he's our young and upcoming, he's our homegrown talent. I think he's going to have his hands full with both Dylan and Desmond trying to get up in his shirt, right? And also when he gets to the rim, he's going to have to deal with the bruising Steven Adams, or, you know, he may catch a break if Jaren Jackson doesn't play. So I'm looking out for RJ's efficiency this game. Right? If he just picks his spots and, you know, slowly chips away instead of, you know, trying to just necessarily bulldoze to the basket. And I love it. Carry the whole team with you to the basket. We've seen that he's increased his efficiency and his confidence from behind the arc. So those looks are going to come, you know. So I'm excited to see how he plays, what his efficiency looks like against a gritty team that plays defense. And I think just based on how they're going to contest at the rim, there's a great opportunity for Mitchell Robinson to do what he normally does and snags those offensive rebounds. I think he's going to have 5 or more offensive rebounds in this game. I feel like he's going to clean up a lot of that like he did the last game. It all just kind of came together. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I'm excited to see how RJ fares against good wing defenders. And I'm interested in seeing that throughout the season because that's really going to tell us how far he's matured and how far he's grown as a player. What do you think?
Honestly, with RJ, I'm looking at the efficiency, of course, but I think with him in this game, I'm looking at his free throws. I expect this game for him to drive more than you see how he has some of them open shots. I think this one game, like the way RJ is going to be playing this year, I feel like he's gonna know to pick and choose his battle. Like he's gonna look and be like, okay, this is the game where if I'm not open, I'm not taking a shot, I'm gonna attack. You know what I'm saying? Or if I need to switch it up, I will. But I think with this Grizzly game, he's gonna go straight to attack mode. Like if Ja's attacking, he's attacking. You know what I'm saying? Like it's going to be pound for pound with it. So I'm looking at efficiency, but I'm also looking at his free throws. Like that's always a killer with the game. He stated that he's been working on that. That's something that he had to fix. So I'm really looking at those free throws.
Yeah, that's going to be a big part of him taking that next step. So that's a good point. I'll definitely be taking a look at that as well too. So we're going to move on to the season predictions, and I feel like this is going to be a very interesting season. I think Knicks fans have a pretty good gauge as to whether or not their team is good or not for the year. You have those people who are blindly optimistic, but this year, I feel like there's some legitimate buzz. It's a quiet confidence, I believe, from the inside out. And one of the things that I really feel like is going to help this team take the next step is showing killer instinct in certain key games. And I feel like that's a big part of what Jalen Brunson adds, that organization, that ability to get his own shot at any level, his ability to know, oh, I don't have it going on tonight, but I'm going to create easier opportunities for other people. The free throw shooting, the floor stretching, a lot of times when you see RJ or Julius kind of getting into a shot, getting into, where they want to go on the floor, they'll pass up a contested or a good shot for a great shot. And you see Brunson going over to the corners and stuff and just making it hard on other teams by being respectable from behind the arc. So I really feel like we're going to take the next step when it comes to having that killer instinct. We're going to have teams down and we're going to put the nail in the coffin. We're not going to let them, we're not going to dilly-dally. You know us, we get up and then for the last how many years, it's a comeback. They're going to Knicks it up. This year, I can't really see that happening with regularity. And if that does happen, I see Jalen Brunson taking that personally, like MJ. And I took that personally, right?
Back, man. Like you see it in his face when the game when he wasn't really doing too good. The only loss of preseason. Like Jalen was pissed. He was mad he wasn't doing what he had to do. Like, yeah, he did other things on the floor, but he was still mad about the loss. Like, even if it's preseason, the loss is a loss. He ain't having it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My only take with it is with this, like even throughout the season, I'm just looking at how Jalen and D Rose are gonna hold it down. Like the whole dynamic of just having D Rose as your point guard for your second unit. And I had to close my eyes so I could really visualize this. Like, and then having iHeart as your center. And the way, like iHeart, I can honestly say, and a lot of Knicks fans probably like, Trippy is bugging, but he's looking like a baby Joker if we develop him the right way. Like, he's looking like a baby Joker. Like, the fact that he has the vision he has, like, forget the shooting. The best thing about iHeart is his passing game. That is a different story when you got a center that can pass like that. I've literally seen the way he gets passes, they go cut, bam, he's hitting them with it. Bro, those two together is a different mix, man. That opens the gate for the bench, opens the gate for the starters. It's a different dynamic, man. I can't wait. I can't wait. Like, this season is going to be crazy. Is there any key games during the season that you're looking out for? Like, yeah, we really got to get in. Like, we got to get to it.
Yeah. I always relish the opportunity when we play the Heat. I got a lot of friends from Florida. I actually spent some time living in Florida. I got a lot of love for Florida, but I'm a Knicks fan. I grew up in New York, right? And that boy, Tyler Herro, man.
I seen it coming.
Man, that boy, like, listen, man, he could ball, man. Much respect to him. The Heat organization is such a well-run organization. They find diamonds in the rough, and they develop them like no other. Then they might overpay him like Duncan Robinson, which puts him in a bad situation. But guess what? They developed him from the ground up, and I got a lot of respect for that. But I'm not going to front, man. I really want to see us beat the Heat. I really want to see us switch Herro onto RJ. We want to go set that screen and get up out of there. And I know we probably won't see that very much, but he's really been saying some things that have been disrespectful to what RJ has done and what he means to our team. So yeah, I got that game circled on the calendar. All right.
Okay. You know, it's crazy. The game I got circled on the calendar, of course, is the Cavs game because the first meeting with the Cavs, whether it's home or away, it's just because I gotta see, like, we gotta show Donovan Mitchell, like, if you really want to get a chip, because you ain't gonna never win it over here. Yeah, you got some talent, but you ain't gonna win it. You know where to come when that contract up. You know where to pull up to. Come here free of charge, take a hometown discount. You heard?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. D-Mitch, I think he gets out of his contract another 2 to 3 years or so, and then he'll be able to do whatever it is that he'd like. You know, that's perfect. We're just going to keep doing our thing. If we just keep building season to season, I think that we'd be a serious suitor. He wants to be close to family. He wants to do things that no other people, you know, have been able to achieve in a very long time since the 70s. So I'm looking forward to that off season just to see what we can do. You mentioned Hartenstein, and obviously, you know, I'm feeling his game as well too. You know, you mentioned the baby Joker thing, man. He does have enough of that skill set to, if he can flash. I'm not calling him Joker, but I'm saying he's flashed the skills, a lot of skills that Joker has. So, you know, if he continues to build on that and to do that with some sort of regularity, I feel like, you know, we got a steal in free agency, you know. And speaking of centers, Mitchell Robinson, man, Mitchell Robinson's health, I feel like is going to be pretty paramount.
Definitely.
You know, I love the fire and ice kind of, you know, dynamic that we have between him and Hartenstein, two very, very different players. But Mitch, over this preseason, Mitch came in shape. He looks strong. He looks active. And he covers up so much for our defense. If somebody happens to get beat on, you know, a swing opportunity, he's right there. And he's able to float between them and the defender on the backside. You know, he does so much for us. And I hope that he's able to play 70 games or more. Seems like he gets nicked up every so often. 82 would be perfect, you know. And if he's healthy all 82 games, Thibodeau's going to play him all 82 games.
Yes, he is.
So I hope
yes, he is.
He's going to play that man into the ground. So, you know, I'm excited to see him stay healthy and to be in shape going into the season and not having to work himself into shape. You know, so I think we're really going to see a little bit of what he can do, or a lot of bit of what he can do, especially with the point guard play being elevated. All right. So do you feel the same way about Mitch, or are you on the Hartenstein train, or where you at with it?
I'm more so, how is Tom gonna go about working those two centers? And are we ever gonna see some run from Jericho Sims in the mix throughout this season? That's really what like, he has three different types of play style centers. He has what I would call, the defensive anchor in Mitch. You have the young flying baby Dwight Howard and Jericho Sims. And with the skill set, like I said, you have maybe a baby Joker if you can unlock it the right way. So we're having all three of those. It's like, Tom, there's no reason for you to complain about your centers as long as they're playing the defense that you want them to play. You just got to let them thrive and let them be them when it comes to the offensive side. So I'm really looking forward to that. But I definitely say I'm still riding with Mitch. Even though you get on my nerves sometimes, I'm still gonna ride with Mitch, man. Like, he's been here since day one. He's the longest Knick to be on the team currently right now, 5 years in, still being on the Knicks. A lot of people forget RJ is not the only homegrown kid. Like, him and Mitch are the two homegrown guys. They are the pillars of this team. So it's going to be a great season. You know, I don't want to go too deep in it because, we got a whole season to go crazy with these predictions, but I'm really looking forward to it. I feel like this team goes as far as these select guys take us. And I'm going to say it's Brunson, RJ, Randall, Obi, Quickly, and D Rose.
So those are the key players.
And Mitch. Those are the key players. Those are the key players. A lot of people want to say, oh, it's going to be Grimes. No, it's going to be your year 3 guys in OB and IQ. It's going to be your big 3 with Brunson, RJ, and Randall. And it's going to be your center, which is 6 men, which is D Rose, and it's going to be Mitch. It's up to those guys to make or break this season.
Yeah. You know, I tend to agree with you, man. Those are all important. I mean, they're all going to play. We know all those players are going to play, and we need the players that play to play well. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I totally agree with you. You know, those guys, you know, I feel like the best thing we have going, and we could actually end on this note, is that the team spirit seems to be at an all-time high. You know, it's
that one.
No, there's a certain, I mean, even in the interviews with Julius doesn't seem irritated. He's not pressing. He's giving praise to his teammates. You know, it just seems like this team is together and on the same page, and that, you know, if they go down, they're going to go down together. Right. And you can tell from the way they're playing, you can tell from their interviews. You know, I'd like to think that Tom Thibodeau has learned a thing or two from the last season. So I'm actually really excited about the vibe that's going on. Right. Kind of like the Giants. The Giants have a nice little vibe going on around them. Right. And
1, baby.
Yeah. It's shown on the field. So, you know, I'm not saying the Giants are the best team. I'm saying that they're playing well together. And when you play well together, you like playing together, when you're unselfish with the ball, then good things can happen. So that's how I feel about the Knicks in terms of the season prediction. If you start seeing them break down and start playing buddy ball, we're in trouble. We're in trouble. And we're not even built like that as a team.
That's a fact.
So, you know, I'm banking on the enjoyment. I'm banking on them, you know, playing together and playing hard every single game. So that's what it is, man. That's what's next. That's what's next, man.
I like how you did that. That's what's next. You heard it live and direct, man. Bro, this is going to be a crazy season. I see it now. Not only for the Knicks itself, but just for this show, man. As y'all heard it, what's next? Knicks predictions. Hosted by who? Ray himself, co-hosted by Trippy OG. This is the first episode. Many more to come. Make sure y'all get in tune. Yo, BSN, man. Tap in. Yo, we here. We rocking. I hope y'all ready for it. We got some more shows coming up. We got a lot of things lined up, man. Get ready for it, baby. Get ready for it. Any last words before we get up out of here, Brody?
Hey, much love to the entire VSN team, man. It's just exciting. It's just the beginning. So, you know, thank you to everybody who watches this. You know, we're going to continuously get better. And, you know, I'm just excited to rock out with the team, man. Trippy, you got anything to say, bro?
Is it Wednesday yet?
Oh, man, I feel
Is it Wednesday yet, bro? Matter of fact, for me, is it Friday? I'm about to be in the garden like, let's go! Like, going crazy. But look, man, we catch y'all next week. Y'all already know the vibes. VSN Basketball Station. Get in tune with it. Subscribe. Hopefully we see y'all up here as a guest one day. We catch y'all later, baby.
Peace.